Hey, everybody. I am on the line right now with the newest member of the foundation. The big reveal, Rhett Titus. And another reveal that we recently saw was you have the first ever Pure Rules tag team match. You're one of four participants at Final Battle coming up next weekend. How you doing today?
Hey, Bill, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on here. How are you doing yourself?
No complaints.
That's what I like to hear.
So yeah, you were recently revealed as the fourth member of the foundation. You have Jonathan Gresham, Jay Lethal, Hot Sauce, Tracy Williams, yourself. Uh, there's been some talk about your motives. Are you guys good guys? Are you heels? There's some gray area. So what are your goals with the group? How do they align with Jonathan Gresham's goals as another guy in the group and as pure champion?
Well, to tell this story, I would have to go back to February 23rd, 2002, which is the date of the Era of Honor begins, Ring of Honor's first ever show. I was there live in person as a fan. And, I had always wanted to be a professional wrestler growing up. But if it wasn't for going to that show, I'm not sure if I would ever have actually followed through with it. That show made me look at wrestling in a whole different light. Um, there was a code of honor. There was looking at wrestling as sport, and it really changed a lot of my views on wrestling and a lot of my goals with wrestling as well. Fast forward years later, I joined the Ring of Honor roster, and over the years, people had their own agendas and that sort of thing, and the code of honor was kind of lost amongst it. Now, it's something that wasn't lost amongst myself, though. If you look back in the history of Rhett Titus, I was always trying to bring Ring of Honor back to its roots. You go to when I joined Scum, Ring of Honor had gone a long way from its roots, and we were trying to destroy it and rebuild it back in that image again. And then if you go to when I was in the rebellion or the cabinet, where the code of honor was something that sometimes guys would do before the match or after the match, and we would kneel in protest of the code of honor because people weren't following it. But fast forward to 2020, where wrestling in a bubble and there's no fans there, and Ring of Honor has decided to take it back to its roots with the amazing Pure tournament that you might have seen on Ring of Honor television. And the foundation is at the forefront of that. Jonathan Gresham and Jay Lethal and Tracy Williams are three guys that I have the utmost respect for. And it is something to, one thing to have the respect from your peers, but when your peers are those guys, it is a very flattering thing as well. The foundation is a group that wants to bring Ring of Honor back to its golden days, where you see wrestling, not these stunts or cinematic matches or any of this silly stuff that you see on TV these days. We want to see good old fashioned wrestling, and we want to restore honor, put the honor back in Ring of Honor.
You talk about going back to the past, and I mean, in name now the foundation, but quite literally, like, you are part of the foundation of Ring of Honor, and part of your time in the company was with All Night Express. Those are one of the names you didn't mention. So do you miss that? Do you feel like Ring of Honor needs an original team, a classic team like that? And how does that, how would that conflict with your current goals with the foundation?
Um, over the years, I've been known as a tag team specialist, and the great thing about the foundation is uh, any one of the four of us can go out there and tag team together, and it'll be magic in the ring. Like you'll see at Final Battle. I've never teamed with Tracy Williams before, but I'm sure we're going to be looking like a cohesive unit. Now, as far as Kenny King goes and All Night Express, Kenny King wasn't ever worried about the overall picture of Ring of Honor. And at the end of the day, Kenny King proved many times that he wasn't worried about Rhett Titus and the All Night Express. Kenny King was mostly worried about Kenny King. Now, the foundation, this is a group of 4 guys that all have one motive, and it's to restore honor and bring the pure wrestling back to Ring of Honor. So it's very good to be amongst like-minded people and people that aren't in it for themselves, but are team players.
And another goal I would assume is to be a champion. Right now, Jonathan Gresham is the pure champion. So how does that conflict with bringing back pure rules wrestling to Ring of Honor? Like,
well,
do you think you guys could face off against each other and it would be for the good of pure wrestling or for the good of the company, or is that something that you guys haven't really gotten into yet?
That's the thing about the foundation is, we have no problem going in there and seeing who the better man is. I've wrestled Jonathan Gresham before. I've beaten Jonathan Gresham before. It played on Ring of Honor TV this past summer. If the opportunity ever arose where I wrestled Jonathan Gresham one-on-one for the pure title, or if me and Tracy Williams wrestled Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham for the tag team titles, it'd be all for the better of the good of the company. Because even if I were to beat Jonathan Gresham, it'd be another guy representing the foundation as well. So, but the main goal for the foundation is to purify all of the divisions in Ring of Honor. So even though Jonathan has the pure title and the tag titles with Jay Lethal, you still have to think about the world title. You still have to think about the 6-man titles. You still have to think about the TV title. And I would love to throw my hat in one of any of those divisions and to help purify those championships as well.
If you had to pick a third guy for the 6-man titles, which one are you picking? If I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, between Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham, you can't go wrong. It's 1A and 1B. May have to go with Jay Lethal just for his overall experience in Ring of Honor and big time matches in Ring of Honor as well. And I would like to see Jay Lethal as a 6-man tag team champion as well, because that is the only title in Ring of Honor that Jay Lethal has never held.
And there's not too many things he hasn't done in Ring of Honor, so that would be quite the cap to a decorated career.
Yeah, he'd be right up there. Matt Taven. Well, now that the pure title is around, Matt Taven hasn't held all of the titles, but they're both missing one championship, and I think Jay Lethal is closer to clinching that last championship.
Final battle, as I mentioned at the top of the call, you are in the first ever Pure Rules tag team match. Everybody knows Pure Rules. It was always a singles championship, and you've shared your mission statement, so to speak. So, being that it's the first tag team match ever, what are your expectations going into the match?
Well, if you look around at tag team wrestling in 2020 outside of Ring of Honor, and sometimes even in Ring of Honor, it's kind of a free for all. Guys are tagging backs, shoulders, feet. Guys aren't holding on to the tag rope. Guys are, just kind of coming in, breaking up pins whenever they want. There's no rules, and why should the fans care about a big tag in the match when sometimes they don't mean anything and guys can just come in the ring at their own will. Over my years in Ring of Honor, I've been known as a tag team specialist. I'll be going into Final Battle. This will actually be my 4th different tag team partner at Final Battle as I team with Tracy Williams. And for the longest time, all these rules that people haven't been following in tag team wrestling have just been driving me absolutely crazy. Now, this is my chance to make history being in the first ever Pure Rules tag team match. And this is my chance to rectify the tag team situation that is going on in pro wrestling today and show all the fans and all the other wrestlers as well how tag team wrestling is supposed to be done.
Something else I wanted to ask about. Quite a few people pointed this out, but the squid mask. you'd been seen wearing it, and it, there was all this mystery as to who it was, and it's been known for being Jonathan Gresham's like signature to a point. So what is the reasoning behind that, besides it just being a link between Gresham and yourself?
Well, for the longest time, I've been in Ring of Honor and I've been underappreciated and overlooked. And, when I joined the foundation, we didn't want to let people know it was me yet, because, that would be just doing the same thing over again. Oh, Rhett Titus, he's in another stable. No, this isn't the same Rhett Titus you've seen before. This is a Rhett Titus with a chip on his shoulder. This is a Rhett Titus that has been hidden under this mask for the past few months because, we've been waiting for the right time to unleash me on Ring of Honor and all the divisions. And the right time will be Final Battle this Friday night coming up live on pay-per-view. So prepare to see a different side of Rhett Titus, a side that, people may have looked at me as a goofy guy, but when that bell rang, I could always go with the best of them, and I will go with the best of them. Fred Yehai and Wheeler Yuta, those are two guys not to be overlooked at Final Battle, and this will be a match for the ages.
When we started the beginning of this year and first, started finding out what COVID and the pandemic is, I started doing a watch list, and I was asking people for content that they could watch at home while we waited to see what was going on. And I want to put it a different way, just because of the way you answered the last question. You said you were maybe overlooked or underappreciated or stereotyped as being a tag team guy. So is there any matches that you're particularly proud of, whether it's tag team or singles, that you would still point to and say, you know what, that match really exemplifies who I am as a wrestler then, and maybe a preview of the guy that you're trying to be in 2020 and into the new year?
One of the things that was the jumping point for me joining the foundation, if you go back to December 2019, right before all this pandemic went down, I wrestled Jonathan Gresham Final Battle weekend. I defended the MCW Heavyweight Championship against him, and I actually came out victorious on a Future of Honor show. That match actually is on the Honor Club, and it was on my Best of episode on Ring of Honor television. So that match, we went about almost a half hour, and it all ended with a drop kick. I beat Jonathan Gresham with a drop kick clean in the middle of the ring, and we just went out there and wrestled for half an hour. And to beat Jonathan Gresham, who is quite frankly the best wrestler in the world going today, that gave me all the confidence going into 2020. But, not too much has happened in 2020 thanks to the pandemic. But now with this newfound confidence and the respect of my peers and the backing of the foundation, hold on, because it's going to be a wild ride. And at the end of 2020, going into 2021, the sky is the limit for Rhett Titus and the foundation as a whole.
Anything in particular that you're looking forward to in the new year? I mean, I know everybody had the same idea about going into this year, and then it got turned on its head. But can you look ahead and say, all right, here's what I want for myself, here's what I want for Ring of Honor, here's what I want for the foundation, anything like that?
I look forward to fans coming back to the shows, hopefully in 2021, in a safe way. Don't want to put anybody at risk that doesn't need to be at risk. But for the overall package that Ring of Honor is, I'm hoping that the foundation captures all the gold and we are able to purify each division and bring Ring of Honor back to the golden age where, there was, just all pure wrestling, where guys respected the code of honor. So that is a goal that has been mine for years. I could never fathom, like when a new guy would come into the company, get a dark match or something like that, and he would, blow off the code of honor or something because he's a bad guy. No, good guys, bad guys, we all follow the code of honor. And that is something that we are dead set on making a priority at the end of 2020 and going into 2021 as the foundation looks to purify the whole division. And, I'm looking forward to this tag team match very, very much so, because like I said before, this is a major gripe that I've had with tag team wrestling. And like I said, I'm looking to show people how it's supposed to be done.
All right. The foundation, Rhett Titus, Tracy Williams, take on Fred Yehai and Wheeler Yuta in the first ever Pure Rules tag team match. It takes place at Final Battle on December 18th. You can check it out on pay-per-view. Rhett, thanks very much for your time tonight.
Bill, thank you for having me, and hopefully we get to do this again.
Absolutely.